the taste.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out.
Who is the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevakishwa.
Sile wakati tulikuwa tunapishwa tukapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow. Yeah!
We are the full package.
Oh yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Kinyanjui kali mbona unakimbia? Kwani umeona Costa?
Hiyo host nini ndio mtaiona eh? I hope you are ready for the exams.
Mimi niko Lendi. Tell him to bring it on.
Teacher, Mr. McFritch, I am on my bended knees and I am very sorry. I acknowledge that you are the teacher and I am the student. I am sorry.
Viva! Viva!
Kinyanjui, you have a lot of explaining to do. Can you come back here?
Mr. Teacher, I am learning somewhere very, very important. I will see you later.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anawapenda wenye kutubia madhambi yao na wenye kujitwahirisha.
Allah anapenda wale wenye kujisafisha kutokana na maasi na pia kujisafisha pia kutokana na ule uchafu ambao unaambatana na mazingira.
Vile unanikatianga, mimi ninakataa ndio unakuja kuniwekelea hapo.
Nani? Ndio uende pole pole.
Wewe naona niambia naona kani hata wewe unauliza ama ni mama anauliza.
Mama ni nani?
Okay, bring it on. Mheshimiwa.
Ati?
When did you start to printing money and you are not at Elalu? When did you
Sasa unaongea kizungu sasa.
Shut up, mtoto. Shut up wewe. Ni wewe unaambia. Uliza kwa hiyo miaka 6. Kuna nyingine kali zaidi ya hiyo mheshimiwa.
Oh, ni kuongeza nyingine.
Wiki hii kwenye mkulima tutamfuga konokono.
Hawatofautishi kati ya snail na slug. Slug ni ule mnyama ambaye hana nyumba. Na huyo hatuzungumzi kumhusu. Tunazungumza kuhusu snail ambaye mmemwona ambaye ako na shell.
Kisha tuzingatie kilimo cha ndizi. Usikose kujumuika nami siku ya Jumamosi saa 10:30 upate mseto kamili wa kilimo.
My name is John Bogo Kimani and I am 14 years old and I'm talented in drumming. I also got inspired by people I watch from YouTube drumming, for example Cedric Marsh and Eric Moore.
I really love today's story because it is about a leopard. And you know why? Because my name means of the leopard.
Hello, my name is Claire Masai. I go to Loreto Convent in Songari, and today we're going to be making some pasta.
My name is Lina from Wiggles and Giggles, and I'm going to teach you how to make a plain dispenser.
Ananipenda leo kuliko jana.
Sauti yangu napaza, msikie hadi kule.
Good afternoon and welcome to KBC's Lunchtime News. It is exactly 5 minutes past the hour. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim, the sign language interpreter. At the bottom end of the screen is Lucy Maura. We start here in the capital, where water shortage in the Nairobi metropolitan area might be a thing of the past after the government, in partnership with the French government, has commissioned Kigoro water treatment worth 4.5 billion shillings. The state-of-the-art technology will ensure a safe, clean and reliable water supply, treating 140 million litres of water daily. Speaking during the inauguration ceremony, Cabinet Secretary for Water, Sanitation and Irrigation Engineer Eric Muga said the now operational project will significantly address water challenges in Kenya's urban and pre-urban areas. The project is expected to alleviate water shortage for over 1.2 million people across Murang'a, Kiambu, Nairobi, Machakos and Kajiado counties.
The plant has been under testing for the last 2 months. It is meant to take 140 million cubic to Nairobi. This, when the water gets to Gigiri tanks, it will be shared amongst 4 counties. We are glad because this is one of the government's agenda, provide water and sanitation to the people. And we also appreciate the development partners who are with us today here, because they are also helping us do other projects in Kisumu and also in Mombasa.
Organizations have been challenged to prioritize corporate social responsibility to forge a pathway in driving societal development in the country. Jubilant Stewards of Africa Executive Director Jared Oundo says there is need for the organization to balance profitability and service to humanity to ensure excellence. This comes days ahead of the Elite Brands International Award slated for the 13th of December 2024, where various corporations and individuals will be feted for going beyond the call of duty in enhancing communities' welfare.
Who are doing business in this particular country, in this particular part of the world, in the continent, is that let's be responsible for our community. Where you are as a company, as a business, what is not happening there the right way? Does that community have clean water? Can you dig a borehole for them? Maybe the main purpose for this event is basically to motivate and inspire entrepreneurs to go beyond the call of duty and do something for their community, their country and the continent.
I'm calling out to all SMEs, come out in large numbers. On the 13th, we will be at Agile Hotel. Come out, come and network with other SMEs. Come and learn the challenges we're going through in the market. Come and see, how do you weather the storm? How do you grow? How do you move from just being a local SME or a local manufacturer to become an international organization?
And on the political front, chaos broke in Rongo Town, Migori County, as rival Orange Democratic Movement ODM supporters clashed ahead of the party primaries, disrupting daily activities and creating widespread fear among residents. The chaos erupted following disagreements over preferred candidates. The clashes lasted for hours before Rongo Member of Parliament Paul Abor intervened. He at the same time called for peace and fair participation. His efforts brought a temporary calm, but tension is still high ahead of the primaries.
Watu wanang'ang'ania hiyo chairmanship. So shida inatokea katika hiyo ofisi ya ODM.
We request the national government, the national ODM leaders to come and cancel this issue in Rongo.
As you are aware, election is a competitive process. And when people are competing, we don't expect them to agree on everything. So what have just been experienced here is just normal in any campaign. But what I'm saying as a member of parliament of Rongo constituency, I'm urging our people to act with a lot of restraint, even if they're being provoked, and I'm pleading for a very peaceful election exercise.
Elsewhere, over 1,000 squatters residing at a 68-acre piece of land in Maziwani area in Malindi sub-county are up in arms over what they termed as constant police harassment. The residents say efforts to seek help from the authorities have been futile, claiming that a powerful individual has been using security agencies to evict them from their land. They now want the government to help solve the matter.
Mahali popote palipo na dispute kunafaa kutolewa court order, tufahamishwe ya kwamba hapa mahali pako na shida. Tulifanya kuna matingatinga yakatuharibia nyumba zetu, hatukufahamishwa chochote. Badala ya askari kutueleza ni kipi kinachoendelea hapa, wao ndio waliokuwa mstari wa mbele kupeana ulinzi nyumba zetu zikibomolewa. Tunaita haki yetu kwa viongozi wetu. Tunaomba mje hapa mkaweze kutusaidia.
Tunalilia serikali yetu iweze kutusaidia. Kama sisi wa mama hatuna biashara, ni vyama vindogo vindogo visanduku. Kama sasa hivi tumechukua pesa kwa visanduku, tunaandaiwa. Nyumba tumejenga zimebomolewa, hatunjui tuanzie wapi, hatunjui hata tumulilie nani.
Kwa kila mara ni mapolisi wanapita wakitutisha maisha hapa ndani. Hiyo ndio hofu yetu tuko nayo kubwa, na hatuna kwa kukaa sasa hivi. Tunakaa juu. Wahuni pia wanaiba mavitu huko ndani, shamba ikibaki hivyo matinga inakuja usiku, wengine wanapigana na makuki huko wakituua. Sisi tufanyeje? So tunalaumu serikali haitupatie usaidizi wa kutosha.
The African Academy of Health and Sciences, established in Dakhla, Morocco, offers a unique opportunity for African health experts to collaborate and share expertise in efforts to advance knowledge and service delivery in the continent. Mariambo was in Dakhla, Morocco, and filed the following report.
African health experts have called for more collaboration to find local solutions to challenges facing the health sector in the African continent. Speaking at a forum in Dakhla, Morocco, Professor Yankuba Kassama, the former Minister for Health in the Gambia, cited the brain drain, especially of doctors and nurses, as a major challenge, depriving the African population of the much-needed expertise.
Doctors and nurses are all living like wildfire to the west. And they cannot be stopped. So this is the problem. And how can we develop when that is happening?
The continent is also grappling with communicable and infectious diseases like malaria.
Africa is like a kind of market to them because the medicines have been made in their countries for disease they don't know. Why our brains put together we cannot find permanent solutions to the disease that are making our population suffer.
The inauguration of the African Academy of Health and Sciences in Dakhla, Morocco is, however, expected to bring together health experts to find solutions bedeviling the health sector.
If we bring together our competency, our ability, we can train the future generation and show that we can be able to build a new health for African people by African people.
The Academy will not only train health professionals, but offer an opportunity to share expertise and experiences.
There is so many huge and big scientists in Africa. They work in Europe, they work in North America, they work in Australia. So if we bring them together here in Dakhla, we can show to all the world our capability and then to build a better health for African people.
The Moroccan Health Minister, Amin Tauroy, emphasized African health solutions to African problems.
The Academy plays an important role at the same time to master most of the innovations, training health professionals, an ecosystem that promote research, innovation and development of local solutions adapted to the socio-cultural aspect.
The African Academy of Health and Sciences promises to tackle vaccine inequity in the continent that proved a challenge during the COVID-19 pandemic.
So we can together build a new health system for Africa in terms of training for people, for young researchers, but also in terms of vaccine sovereignty, in terms of competence and capability for Africa by Africans.
The state-of-the-art facility plans to partner with various organizations to attract students and researchers from across the continent and beyond. Mariambo reporting from Dakhla, Morocco.
Let's come back here to the country where two communities from Bangali sub-county in Tana River County who clashed over land last month, leaving 8 people dead, have met for peace talks. In a meeting spearheaded by the Frontier Counties Development Council, FCDC, the communities represented by their chairman promised to maintain peace and refrain from inter-clan clashes. The meeting, which was held in Mwingi town, also called on the government and well-wishers to help those whose homes were burnt and displaced.
Tumejumuika hapa tangu jana ili kujaribu kuzungumzishana na kutafuta suluhu mwafaka kuhusu hii mizozo ambayo tumeishuhudia katika maeneo yetu.
Na upande zote mbili tulikubaliana tudumishe amani na hatuwezi rudia tena nyuma ile mambo ambayo yalipita si ndwele. Tumeshukuru Wailwana na Worde wamekubaliana kwa kitu kimoja. Tulikuwa na viongozi wote wa kutoka Tana River.
FCDC mwenye alisponsor hii kikao, tunashukuru kwa sababu imeleta hapa pamoja na wameamua kushikana mkono na waendelee salama.
From the residents now to their senator, Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana has withdrawn the religious regulation bill. The senator says the decision to withdraw the bill was informed by consultation between religious and political leaders. Subsequently, the clergy has welcomed the move, calling for more engagement in regulating religious institutions. The men of the cloth have also agreed to withdraw cases they had filed in court challenging the Mungatana bill. The two parties have now agreed to form a self-regulation task force that will develop a comprehensive framework for self-regulation.
We shall take a step back, seek a wider stakeholder engagement so that we walk this process together. But as stands now, I wish to confirm that we have written to the Speaker to withdraw this bill. Thank you. So this has nothing to do with the criminal court cases that are proceeding against Mackenzie and the others.
That's right. On the matter of ongoing court cases linked to the Mungatana bill, we have pursued alternative dispute resolution, ADR, mediation, and other diplomatic channels to resolve dispute amicably.
Tunakubaliana kunaweza kuwa na excesses chache, lakini wahubiri walio waaminifu ndio wengi. Kuna excesses chache, tutaunda bill ambayo tutawasilisha kwa bunge iliyo nzuri ambayo inatubeba sisi wote, kila mmoja asikie yuko hapo, vile tutaweza kufanya self regulation.
Na kwa hivyo tunaomba mtuunge mkono viongozi wote wa makanisa, viongozi wa kidini. Hii jambo hatulifanyi kwa kanisa pande moja, tunafanya kwa makanisa yote nchini Kenya.
Elsewhere, 8 NGOs have launched an agroforestry project in Kilifi County to promote environmental conservation and sustainable livelihoods. Speaking at the launch, organizers emphasized the need for combining trees planting with agriculture to address climate change and food security. The project will be implemented in 5 counties with activities focusing on agricultural training, tree planting, beekeeping and smart farming.
Tunafanya mambo ya agroforestry, mambo ya sustainable agriculture practices na mambo ya climate change ili kuhakikisha kuwa kuna chakula, tunalinda mazingira yetu na miti na watu wanakuwa pamoja. Hewa imebadilika kabisa, iko very unpredictable. Hata farmers hawezi wakaweza kupanga mambo na kilimo. Kwa hivyo ime-affect sana na that's why tunafanya hii mradi kuensure like farmers wanaelewa mambo ya mabadiliko ya climate change.
Wakati watu wanafungua mashamba kwa ajili ya maendeleo, aidha ujenzi wa nyumba ama ikiwa ni ukulima, utapata kwamba huwa wanakata miti ili kutengeneza nafasi. Hawaachi hata miti ya vivuli, hawaachi hata miti ambayo inaweza kuwa ndio si ya matunda lakini inachangia katika kuhifadhi ule udongo pale katika zile shamba. Kwa hivyo katika mradi huu tunaenda pia kuwaelimisha masuala ya agroforestry, kwamba wanapofanya shughuli zao za ukulima wahakikishe kwamba wanaacha ile miti ambayo inachangia katika kushikilia mchanga pamoja na kuhakikisha kwamba rutuba ya mchanga bado inakuwa pale.
Women in the tourism sector have signed a memorandum of understanding to ensure the protection of the female gender working in hospitality sectors against GBV and sexual harassment as the 16 days against gender-based violence continue. Kenya Association on Women Tourism called for the implementation of policies by the government to ensure the reduction of the rising femicide cases.
The memorandum of agreement we have signed today is all about creating a relationship between ourselves and Kenya women in tourism sector, and where Kudeya is well represented in terms of workers. The union representing the workers, we are saying it's high time we stopped issues of GBV.
And we are adding our voice to actually condemn these acts, as well as call for the government to take action in ending this. And of course, when you see femicide in the streets, you also know that it's in the workplace. So it's an all-rounded mindset within the community.
Now, a 42-year-old man from Wanungu village in Gatundu South is recovering at Gatundu Level 5 Hospital after he suffered his private parts were severed with a panga. According to the man, he took action after his attempt to stop consuming alcohol failed. The man, who has separated from his wife and 3 children, expressed his feelings of despair. He has since undergone major scrotal exploration, a surgical procedure that involves examining the testicles through an incision in the scrotum.
Penye nilipata masita kwa siku fulani, masita ya kujikatakata mwili yangu, kwa kuwa sioni akili yangu kaa ilikuwa timamu siku hiyo. Wakati nilienda nikajikatakata, na sana ni utumiaji wa pombe. Hii pombe mingi, alafu nikaiacha mara moja. Wenye wanakunywa pombe kama ile nilikuwa nimekunywa, tafadhalini wachaneni naye. Kwanza wale wa kwetu nyumbani wenye wamenipea damu leo, tafadhalini msikunywe pombe.
In a world where skills are increasingly the key to job opportunities, Kenya's dual technical vocational education and training programs are instrumental in connecting learners with the industry. The dual TVETA program, which combines classroom learning with practical experiences in workplaces, is changing the face of education in the country. Our reporter Joseph Ahungu examines how this program, which started 5 years ago, is preparing learners for the ever-changing market needs. Apologize for that technical glitch. That story will be taking up in a few. But a specialist hospital in matters of ultrasound hosted a training session for doctors and nurses on how to care for expectant mothers. The training initiative, led by medical specialists from the South, underscored the commitment to professional development and healthcare innovation.
Are you thinking about your future? Saving through a registered retirement benefits plan offers amazing benefits that make a difference when it matters most. A registered retirement benefits plan allows you to save up to 20,000 shillings every month tax-free. An investment income from a pension scheme is tax-exempt, meaning your money grows even faster, especially when you add the compound interest. Your retirement benefits provide a basic, reasonable income after your working life, preventing old age poverty and offering contingency funds in cases of ill health, death, or other disruptions. It acts as a safety net upon loss of employment, like during the COVID-19 pandemic, and offers financial protection to your dependents. Plus, it can cover post-retirement medical costs, one of the biggest expenses for retirees. Secure your future and enjoy your retirement to the fullest with a registered pension plan. Plan today for a brighter tomorrow. For more information, visit our website www.rba.go.ke, call our toll-free line 0800-720-300 or email info@rba.go.ke. Secure your future. Secure your peace of mind. RBA, safeguarding your retirement benefits.
Say bye-bye to FOMO, the fear of missing out, by downloading the KBC Online app that gives you access to everything you love. Get the latest news, sport,
It's a class.
music, entertainment news, live radio, and so much more at the palm of your hands. To get the app, simply search KBC Mobile Digital App in your Google Play or App Store and download the app. Catch what you want, anytime, anywhere. Stay connected. Stay ahead with KBC Mobile Digital App.
Kinyanjui kalia, mbona unakimbia? Kwani umeona Costa?
Hiyo Costa nyingi ndio mtaiona, eh? I hope you are ready for the exams.
Mi niko Lendi. Tell him to bring it on.
Teacher, Mr. Macfridge, I am on my bended knees and I am very sorry. I acknowledge that you are the teacher and I am the student. I am sorry.
Viva! Viva!
Kinyanjui, you have a lot of explaining to do. Can you come back here? Mr. Teacher, I am learning somewhere very, very important. I will see you later.
Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice, we
have to do it twice.
Pale marehemu babako alipo, amekasirika mpaka kageuka upande wa pili wa kaburi kwa zile dhuluma unazomfanyia kakako mdogo.
Na mimi sijali. Mangu, siku zote kiongozi huwa pamoja na watu. Huwezi kutumikia watu kama huwapendi.
Usifu kama baba. Hamka jasiri.
Hamna dawa hospitalini. Alafu kila siku ndo hali yake yazidi kudhoofika.
Sasa mbona usimpeleke bodo?
Ulinzi wote wa kazi gani? Unajilinda kutokana na uhalifu gani?
On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out.
Who's the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevaa kichwani. Sisi wakati tulikuwa tunaapishwa tunapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow. Yeah!
We are the full package.
Oh, yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Nenda nitakueleza mahali penyewe baadaye. Nenda.
Nangojea. Lakini ukinihada nitakueleza nilionayo mbele ya mkeo. Samahani. Mbele ya Naomi na Rama.
Kama humpendi mtu Linda, hili umwambie, Na kama unampenda pia, mwambie ajue, Sidhani nitakuona tena. Na hata hivyo kama ningekuwa hapa bado, mambo yetu yangekuwa yameishia hapa.
Rama,
Kwanza hufai kumuita babako kwa sasa. Umesikia? Huyo ni mume wangu. Alikuwa babako ulipokuwa mdogo.
Mina kapewa kikombe cha maji ya kunywa, maji kwa weupe yameshinda hata maziwa.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anawapenda wenye kutubia madhambi yao na wenye kujitahirisha.
Allah anapenda wale wenye kujisafisha kutokana na maasi na pia kujisafisha pia kutokana na ule uchafu ambao unaambatana na mazingira.
Hilo unanikatianga, mimi ninakataa ndio unakuja kuniwekelea hapo.
Nani?
Ndio uende pole pole. Wewe naona niambia naona kani wewe unauliza ama ni mama anauliza?
Mama ni nani?
Okay, bring it on. Mheshimiwa.
Ati?
When did you start to bringing money and you are not at the lalu? When did you
Sasa unaongea kizungu sasa.
Shut up, mtoto. Shut up wewe, ni wewe unaambia. Uliza kwa hiyo miaka 6. Kuna nyingine kali zaidi ya hiyo mheshimiwa.
Oh, ni kuongeza nyingine.
Wiki hii kwenye mkulima tutamfuga konokono.
Hawatofautishi kati ya snail na slug. Slug ni ule mnyama ambaye hana nyumba. Na huyo hatuzungumzi kumhusu. Tunazungumza kuhusu snail ambaye mmemwona ambaye ako na shell.
Kisha tuzingatie kilimo cha ndizi. Usikose kujumuika nami siku ya Jumamosi saa 10:30 upate mseto kamili wa kilimo.
My name is John Bogo Kimani and I am 14 years old and I'm talented in drumming. I also got inspired by people I watch from YouTube drumming, for example Cedric Marsh and Eric Moore.
I really love today's story because it is about a leopard. And you know why? Because my name means of the leopard.
Hello, my name is Claire Masai. I go to Loreto Convent in Songari, and today we're going to be making some pasta.
My name is Lina from Wiggles and Giggles, and I'm going to teach you how to make a plain dispenser.
Ananipenda leo kuliko jana.
Sauti yangu napaza, msikie hadi kule.
Still running this race called life because some of my friends who dated you are not around anymore.
Storia anxiety attacks.
Yes.
It's like it's very common among the creatives.
Very rampant. Just a survivor or somebody who's experienced these things, anxiety and depression, and by the grace of God, lived to tell about it. My dad went missing when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
And so that has been an issue.
Just disappeared.
Just disappeared. You're like 8 siblings. Your breadwinner ameishia. Firstborn ako form 2. You are the 7th child. I was barely starting school. Everything we had is reduced to ashes.
Wow.
We are internally displaced. Sasa tuko IDPs. Tunaletwa na military trucks to Nakuru.
And of course, welcome back to this is the business segment. We want to focus on the Kenya diaspora remittances into the country, and joining us will be Ruth Kirima, who is the executive board member, Kenya Diaspora Alliance. And of course, you do remember what the Prime Cabinet Secretary, that is Musalia Mudavadi, yesterday said, that the government targets to grow diaspora remittances to at least 1 trillion shillings annually by the year 2027, up from the current 671 billion shillings to be sent home from last year's proceedings. And of course, joining us here is none other than Ruth. Ruth, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Thank you, and appreciate your welcome.
Okay. We start off from there. The Prime Cabinet Secretary, you hear that the government is targeting to at least annually collect 1 trillion. In your view, is that possible?
Yes, I believe that's very achievable, with the government working with various companies or organizations like KDA, international stakeholders. I think it is very achievable.
And in terms of the last year, we had collected 61 billion shillings. What necessitated such kind of remittances, and of course the relations between the people who are living in the diaspora? Are they investing in their own country?
Yes, I would say that's a very key point for our conference this year, because the push is the government program on skills transfer and labor migration, thereby encouraging our diaspora to reinvest back home. And that is a very turnaround view from what we have had previously. Additionally, we're playing the long game with our youth. So with our youth studying in diaspora, we're also encouraging them to keep this very much in line when they're looking at their profile later on. So horizontally, it's vital for both age groups and our youth.
And in terms of investing in the youth, given that you have seen a number of them, especially here in our country, are unemployed, what are some of those opportunities they can tap into in the diaspora and leverage it back to our own country?
Various, including looking at aspects of the diaspora, like particularly products that we invest to buy here, and turning around to look at what actually we can make ourselves. And so those opportunities would very much be encouraged by also allocating specific pieces of land for areas of interest and investing in those to build up. So it's a two-way tap in, I think.
Given that we've just talked about investing in land here in the country, what are some of the incentives that support Kenyans who are living in the diaspora? Because you see, they remit a lot of money, but are there incentives from the initiative, the money they remit?
Absolutely. And specifically in the economic zone, we have allocated quite a number of acres working with the government, especially for that, for areas of interest, for particular diaspora companies or individuals to jump in to this workplace because they have that as a handout and waiting moment.
So in terms of the lands that you, let's say for example, the Alliance is purchasing on behalf of these people who are living in the diaspora, or those people who are in the diaspora who are, at least you have given them civic education to ensure that they invest in those lands. So what are some of these opportunities they can tap into, especially in the manufacturing sector?
Well, various, including KDA identified certain products that we were importing that we could also actually make in the backyard, including mosquito nets and syringes. And so we're encouraging that aspect of the diaspora to change, that dynamic to change, and looking at what can we make that we're currently actually importing.
And in terms of supporting those people, once they set up shop, let's say for example those plants are up and running, what more does the Alliance do for those people?
What more the Alliance does is firstly keep an eye on various ongoing and changing needs, but additionally to support that specific interest of the diaspora wanting to invest. And so if it is, I don't know, cars, then we totally focus on that aspect.
And in terms of the conference, we just talked about the convention that will be happening, the Kenya Diaspora Homecoming Convention, is expected to focus on two key areas, which is skill transfer and labor migration. Why those two areas?
Because we realized that we were actually doing this the wrong way. We were encouraging our diaspora to come home, to bring their skills here, and the value of that. But we've turned that around to actually realizing that the skills transfer and the labor migration in the opposite way is equally as productive in terms of I make my pound, but if I return it to Kenya, then perhaps in the village, Shosho can do something A, B, C, and D. So we're doing like a cross-train on both ways.
And in terms of these quarters who have been making this argument that if we take our skilled labor to other countries, then are we not decapitating our own country when it comes to human resource?
I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's about a balance. So you can send the incentive to the right amount of diaspora and turn that around. But I think that's about a balance, not at all a yes or no.
And in terms of the alliance working with Kenyans in the diaspora, how have they received the alliance, especially creating some of these opportunities back to the country?
Well, as far as I know, they've received very, very positive response and we're expecting to have by 2027 an income of 1 trillion per year.
And in terms of the international partners that you're working with and some of the partners you're working here in the country, in terms of capacity building, how has that panned out?
Very, very well again, especially the second point, because of course the more people we hold hands with, the further our program goes and the wider spread it is.
And you have at least approached various counties like Taita Taveta, Kiambu, Kilifi, Machakos for land investment. Why those areas?
Well, we realized actually that KDA could work with more local government and achieve more local support for their projects, including Kiambu. We have now got 20 acres working with the county government to progress the such. And so we just wanted to localize it more.
And you know, so many of these Kenyans who are living in diaspora, I even have a brother who lives in the United States. In terms of investing back into the country, in terms of trust deficit, you see their family members, as much as you're sending back the money to invest, let's say, in a property, they either misuse it or use it for another function. So how does the alliance come in terms of advising those people who are living in the diaspora?
Unfortunately, we don't have a policy on that, and we're guided by the government's view. And as far as I know, they have not directed us. So I will not be having the remit to do that, but of course I understand. Having lived in the diaspora for many years, I have walked that road and very much understand what you say, and we wait for government guidance.
And in terms of the convention, what more can we look forward to?
I think you can look forward to a very broader agenda, especially if I could point out sports. This year we're working with the MBA chairman and just widening our scope on the homecoming, and so very much more broader views than the previous one. So, and I suppose we'll keep that track, keep broadening it to more and more every year.
And what are some of the challenges you might have encountered while working with Kenyans in the diaspora?
Well, as you say, ups and downs, but we have a very strong relationship with them, and as I mentioned, our income annually is steadily growing. So, you know, we have our ups and downs, but essentially we also reach out to diaspora, and it's a very good relationship, and we continue to focus on that.
In terms of those challenges, that ups and downs you're talking about, is it lack of enough policies, or what are these gaps, actual gaps, if you can explain?
Well, again, we're waiting for government guidance on that, so we can't really act on it before directed by the government. But on the personal level, it is very difficult when I see that play out in front of our diaspora abroad, because I think it takes away a lot of confidence from vital resources that actually could be coming back home.
What are some of the success stories that you might have encountered while working for the Alliance, and in terms of ensuring these Kenyans in the diaspora at least invest back optimally into the country?
Well, one aspect of huge success is that we've been importing syringes and mosquito nets. So diaspora has actually linked in with local manufacturers, and we're now making our own syringes and mosquito nets. So that's the line that we've been walking.
In terms of the importing of the country, you do know that the current administration is focusing on producing more items into the country and to forego importing more into the country. In terms of the incentives, I want to go back to what are these civic educations that you give to the Kenyans in the diaspora, as well as their families here, given that they do have an extension of families and relatives here, so that those funds are not misused, they are channeled through the right way?
Okay, I can answer on behalf of KDA that all we can do is direct people, but we do not have the remit actually of guiding more than that. And so, as you can imagine, it's quite a political point, not really for KDA, because we can't, jump in that particular pot.
And in terms of corporate social responsibility that's supposed now to address some of those issues, how do you gauge these people in terms of the CSRs that you do? Because I'm sure you have been doing some.
Yes.
Okay.
I think the only way I would say we gauge them is actually by our history with them and our forward-looking situation with them. So I would say that's a normal capital assessment, not particularly in this area, but the usual capital assessment. However, of course, as KDA, we're very focused to encourage those companies there to step back and work forward with that.
And in terms of the fees, many Kenyans who are living in the diaspora have been complaining about the fees. So what are some of the recommendations that you have made or are they making to ensure that the fees are not that high?
In terms of that, we're actually reaching out to stakeholders to support that very point and manage the cost.
And does that boost confidence among the people who are living in the diaspora?
As far as I know, I'm in direct touch with the South African diaspora, Australian, and European diasporas. And as far as I know, it's working a treat.
And if you're just joining us, we are conversing with Ruth Kirima, who is the executive board member at the Kenya Diaspora Alliance, to discuss how Kenyans in the diaspora can contribute to the country's development agenda, which has been, of course, exacerbated by the current administration led by President William Ruto. It was just the other day the Prime Cabinet Secretary, that is Musalia Mudavadi, clearly stated that the Kenyan government targets to grow diaspora remittances to 1 trillion shillings annually by the year 2027 and up from 671 billion shillings that they send home. And of course, these are some of the key areas the government is leveraging on. Ruth has just told us that those funds can be channeled, of course, through acquisition of properties, especially land. That is where we have even seen manufacturing plants. She's talking about that we need to manufacture syringes and mosquito nets, which are largely imported into the country. And in terms of the production, you do know that this current administration is focusing on that majorly. They don't want to import into the country. What about the agricultural sector? These lands that you have enabled people to acquire in Taita Taveta, Kiambu, Kilifi, Machakos, those are arid lands. Are you even telling them to consider agriculture at the end of the day?
And yes, as you say, at the end of the day, it's a conversation, and yes, we put it on the table, and then they decide to pick up what's best. But absolutely, it's all about that before we jump to the next step. So yes, it's on the table, and then we take it from there. Yeah.
And of course, the alliance itself. Tell us more about the alliance, given that Kenyans, I'm sure some of them are hearing the alliance for the first time. So who is the Kenya Diaspora Alliance and what is their mission?
Okay, the KDA is a para-government association, and their mission is to coordinate on a global level our diaspora in various countries. Additionally, we are aligning all our ambassadors again in the various countries to come together and support the diaspora together. So we are holding the diaspora together in various ways and reaching out in any way to invite them to accept some of our support. So we're a global organization reaching out to all diaspora and particularly working out with all our ambassadors.
And of course, we have also seen the Kenya Diaspora Alliance have interacted with you. This is not the first time. Even before the finance committee that is led by Kimani Kuria, when they were talking about the Finance Bill 2024, the withdrawn now, the Kenya Diaspora Alliance clearly talked about some of the taxes that are being raised. So what are these areas that are being taxed? You can talk to the government to ensure that you're not taxed at the end of the day so that you can be efficient to the people who are in the diaspora.
Yes, I'm afraid I can't be specific about that because I joined in a bit later. So.
Okay, and of course focusing on that as well. Let's go back to the Kenya Diaspora Homecoming Convention that is expected. When is it going to happen? And of course, aside from skill transfer and labor migration, how many delegates do we anticipate to come in the country? You don't have to say exactly how many, but you can at least quote a figure. And aside from that, what are these emerging trends that you're going to address in that convention?
I would say the emerging trends, for one, as I would say again, sports, wider remit of not just finances, but supporting other skills in the diaspora. Regarding the Homecoming Convention, I'm unaware of the numbers because we carry on all the time. Additionally, I would say this Homecoming Convention, I think, highlights very many support systems of KDA that the diaspora doesn't know exist, including myself, including my family. We just don't know that they're there. So we're very much highlighting that and pushing forward just in terms of publicity. But in the meantime, in the convention, of course, we're reaching out to all Kenyan societies and working with them, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that let their diaspora know what is going. So we work with all of them.
And in terms of the convention, is it going to be hosted here in the capital, here in Nairobi?
Yes.
Then will it be open to the various youths you're talking about, given that I told you majority of them are unemployed? So are we going to see some sort of a career fair where we do have experts from KDA on the ground explaining to them, these are the opportunities you'll get in the United Kingdom, these are the opportunities you'll get in the United States? Will there be such kind of an exercise there?
Absolutely. And firstly, to answer your question, yes, our conference is being held in Nairobi this year. And absolutely, as I mentioned, our youth training program, that is the key way to encourage them to move forward and to keep the skills and labor issue on their horizon. Because at the end of the day, if we don't work with them, you know, they don't go as far. So absolutely, that's one of the key areas.
And as we're winding up, give us your final remarks. And in terms of the target that the government is seeking, $1 trillion annually, collecting at least $1 trillion shillings annually. Talk to us about that particular goal. And you do know that 2030 is around the corner. We have some SDGs as well to achieve at the end of the day. And your final remarks in terms of the Homecoming Convention.
I would say that the goal of 1 million is very achievable, as the government is working with various other parastatals and private investment companies. So I would say it's very achievable. My last comment would be to reach out to all Kenyans locally and all Kenyans in the diaspora to engage, please, with one of their support systems covered by KDA. There is space for everybody, and we welcome everybody.
Thank you so much. And that is Ruth Kirima, who is the Executive Board Member at the Kenya Diaspora Alliance. Thank you for giving us your time. And of course, she's just talking to us about the remittances that our very own Kenyans who are living out there are contributing to the country's development agenda. The Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi clearly states that 671 billion shillings will see at least a little bit of a boost by the end year of 2027, where $1 trillion shillings will be collected annually from Kenyans who are living in the diaspora. That concludes our conversation on our business segment. And quickly, before we wrap it up here on KBC's Lunchtime News, I want to give you a quick outlook of what happened yesterday in the Champions League, where Atletico Madrid beat Sparta 6-0. We do have AC Milan, who barely won 3-2 against Slovan Bratislava. Sporting CP was thumped by the mighty Gunners, that is Arsenal, 5-1. Barcelona was able to beat Brest 3-0. Young Boys was thumped by Atalanta 6-1. Bayer Leverkusen beat Salzburg 5-0. Inter Milan won barely a 1-0 win over RB Leipzig. Manchester City, who were leading up a 3-0 first half, so Feyenoord at least drawing with them 3-3 at the end of the whistle. And Bayern Munich beat Paris Saint-Germain 1-0, and they got a red card. And in today's fixtures, we do have Dynamo Zagreb facing off BVB, as well as PSV facing Shakhtar Donetsk, Bologna, Lille, and of course Monaco. But the bigger game here is Liverpool against Real Madrid. That concludes our bulletin. Do join us in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. You can always find more on our webpage at www.kbc.co.ke. Good afternoon for now.